Hi guys. I don't know how the audio is. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I bought an earphone this time, so hopefully there shouldn't be any audio issues. And let's go. What were you doing? So this my friend is the code base that I made previously with the help of this tutorial that I found on internet. But right, but I need to yeah. This is what should I be opening now? And right, main. Main is all right. So what were you doing? I was trying to learn. Let me finish this up, then I'll do another. So I was trying to learn what all can we do with the ORM. So first can give us the first element of the table, and filter is to filter out, basically write conditions on. It's like where in SQL. So let me see an example here. So this is filter dot filter where user is greater than 5 dot all greater than not equal. You can write so username dot like. Okay, in filter you should be writing conditions. So user dot name dot like is it's like where it's like where in SQL. Alright, I get that. What else? What is refresh? What is refresh? What is refresh? Insert a row. The database may generate values out of values such as ID, timestamps, default values. After commit, your Python object may not have loaded this just to refresh. It's like hitting refresh on your desktop. So, okay, Obsidian. Let me get my note taking app out. So, alright. This is to get all users. Just to get all users that I can do, and filter is a method by which we can actually write some conditions. Actually, nahi. Actually, something like this, right? Our query is db dot query. So database dot query dot filter, and you write the filter here. Users filter name Aravind. That is a query. So where the name is filter is very similar to where. This is similar to there in SQLAlchemy. So you SQL in SQL you've got where clause, which is used to write conditions on the row fetching. So let me just try to write a condition. So where was I? Get users. So what do we specifically want here? We just not to get all the users. We need a user with a specific name and a contact number, right? So we'll try to write that down. So let me just erase all of that and definition get users. All right. I should get a session. Okay. All right. Maybe it should also get user. It should also get another object called user, which is very similar. What's wrong with this? Non-default argument follows default argument. Maybe. Okay, you can't write it in this order. Maybe. Damn, I didn't know that order matters. See, it's not throwing any error. So I guess you can't write something a dependent function first. You need to be writing the normal normal arguments before writing the dependent arguments. So yeah, what were we trying to do? We ought to make um, we ought to make a function that gives us users with specified details, right? So query q should be like this. Q should be model dot user, it is model dot what works boolean, just users, right? Models dot users, right? Okay, sorry, db.query. So it's a database dot query. So it's a session method. Query is always a session method. It's not supposed to be associated with the SQL ORM object itself, but it is mostly associated with the session, right? So db.query model dot model dot user. What has happened, bro? Model dot users, and right dot filter. This has to be filtered with dot user dot name. ఆగమ్మకల్ల అంటే ఎవరు చూడట్లేదు అనుకోడా. అలా తీయ మళ్ళీ అవుతున్నా మా పాపం వచ్చి తింటారు. నన్ను తిడితే నేను అంతా got myself coffee. So where was I? So the name should be Kushagra. Kushagra. What's wrong with this? Expected a parameter name. Are they write like this? Let's see. Where is the filter? User ID user.id is ID. So you said user.id is ID. What do you mean by that? User.id. Now I get it. Now I get it. Okay, alright. I don't think this should be giving me any dot. I don't see a problem in this, bro. Let me just carry on. Q dot all returns the result represented by this query as a list. This result in execution of the underlying SQL statement. I mean, this should suffice, but I'm just not getting the fact that this is getting flagged. Let's see what's the problem in it. What is the mistake? The line itself is correct syntactically. Okay, oh my god. Issue with this. Arre. So what I was trying to do is a really silly mistake. Alright. So and not just that, the contact number has to be same too. Okay, let's just say that he takes just a string. Can I do that? Can I just take a string? Can I just take a string? Can I just create a new string object from the given object if encoding error? That makes sense. Let me just go go to ChatGPT and ask, can I pass any other type of object other than the pedantic one through API call? I mean through front end? Yes. I can send query parameters. Okay, that much I remember. So I can get a name called string. But where are these? Okay, I have to do it like this: name and age. Query parameter. Okay, query parameters are different from path parameters. Where you have to do it like this. You have to have curly braces and the ID there. But I don't want to do it like this because it kind of seems insecure to do it like that. So you have the route there. How do I send the request? Like this. Let me see if I could send it like in a JSON version. Request object. Oh yeah. Now I remember. There is this other thing called request object. Bro, what the hell? Now previously learned. JSON. You can send it using JSON, or you can simply. How do I do it with request object? Let me. How do I do that? Explain. Request object. The request object is FastAPI's way of giving you entire entire incoming HTTP request instead of automatically converting it to a pedantic model. So normally def create user. This is how you usually do. What FastAPI does is JSON user.create for you. So this JSON will be converted into this thing. Using request directly, what will it do is async def sending request of request type. Data is await request.json. Now send this from API dog. Inside the endpoint, data await request.json becomes this, which is a normal Python dictionary. Access values. Okay. Why async and await? That's okay. That's a. I mean, that was a question that I was going to ask first. What the hell? Async and await. I haven't really studied the asynchronous functions that JavaScript that our FastAPI provides. Why async and await? Reading the request body is an asynchronous option. Reading the request is an asynchronous operation. Reading the request body is an asynchronous operation. That's why data awaits for the request. .json requires assent. Will crash. Okay. So I mean it's basically sending it as a JSON, right? So I would rather stick with something easier like query parameters. Chalo, let's ask ChatGPT. Let me give the context for it. So what I want is to be able to fetch the wanted user by taking in the name. I want someone that is in my DB and the contact. Of course, I need the contact. Alright, name and the contact. So don't give me the answer, but tell how do I take in the name and contact. What is the best way? Cause should I go with query parameters or what? Otherwise, I just wanted to know how I should be taking it in, to think of about the semantics of what you're doing. You're retrieving existing data, not creating or updating it. Ask yourself, if I want to find a user by name or contact, where should these values go in an HTTP request? You have few options. Query parameters, very common for searching and filtering. Okay, is that so? Okay, just to filter and search you can use query parameters. So let me go with query parameters, there is no problem with that. Let me just check how did we make query parameters. First off, query parameters using request directly, add values, this one fields are missing, all that. Name. So we have to have a question mark and you simply write it like this. Chalo, no problem. Yara. Naam. Let me just say naam. And also you need num phone. Let's say phone. It is also a string, right? Or we string here because I just changed the data type in the modules as string, so I'll keep it as string. This also as string. So naam and I'll make sure models dot users dot name is also equal to what? The phone. Users dot not name, contact, sorry, contact is also equal to the phone, right? Phone. If yes, I should be getting this. That's it. I'm not trying to handle any type of error here, so I'm just trying to see whether this works or not. AP dog, let's see. Oh my god. Hmm. Why am I? So get users, right? Get users. Either what we should do is query parameters. Hmm. Please fill query params in request params section below. Okay, I can just do that. Query parameters. Name. No. Naam. What should be the value? What the value should be is Kushag. Font. Phone. What the value should be is, even I don't know. I have to check. Let me see. Body. JSON. Okay, I don't know what I sent. Let me check what I sent and I'll copy paste it. Okay, this is my contact. Select all. No, not all this. Hey, 522 541 4265. 522 522 541. Where is it? 522 541 4265. 4265. Let me send the. Okay. The problem is that I don't have the server on yet. So here we call app.main app negative negative reload allowed reload, and hopefully this should work, right? I'll hit the server up and I'll check. Okay, alright, that failed. Did it fail? No, it didn't. Thank god I got these query parameters and it's okay. See, I got them. Did I get them? Is this how I am supposed to see them? Q.all. Okay. Q.all. Let me see. I should be returning this, right? I should be return Q.all. Okay, let me hit the server up again. Let's see if this brings us anything. It didn't bring us anything. Alright. JSON. Okay, didn't really get us anything. Q.all. Am I doing it correctly? And let's see. Let's check with ChatGPT and I'll see. Return. How did we write our? Oh, by the way, this is how you. If existing user isn't there, raise HTTP exception status code 400 details user already exists. Okay, that's how you do it. That is a really important thing. Thank God I learned that. Let me go back. Let me check. This makes sense. Oh baby, when you dance like that. Amo. Let me just ask. Arey, this results in an execution of the underlying SQL statement. This is the SQL statement, and this executes it. Hopefully, this should be giving us the answer, right? Let me just copy paste it. Let's see. ChatGPT is gonna debug this shit. The issue with this is Python evaluates, and before SQLAlchemy gets a chance to build a SQL query, so you're effectively doing normal SQLAlchemy has its own way. Hello. Hello. Can you guys hear me now? Hello. Can you guys hear me now? Hello. Remember, Python evaluates, and before SQLAlchemy gets a chance to build the SQL query, and before, okay, so I was effectively doing this. So SQLAlchemy has its own way to express multiple conditions. Think about these two styles. Okay, you either write this or this, and both tell SQLAlchemy to generate. Try replacing the Python and with one of the SQL approaches. Okay, to write two conditions, you can't really write it like this. You can either put a comma, and this should work. Let's see if it works. Did it? Pailed. What do you mean pailed? And also, since you are expecting one specific user, ask yourself CRUD returns a list. Okay, if name plus contact uniquely identifies a user, would you rather or look into dot first as well to decide which makes more sense to your case? Okay, alright. CRUD since you are expecting one specific user, ask yourself returns a list. Alright, returns a list. Is it? Should I be just saying first? Returns the first result of the query or none of the results if it doesn't contain a row. Okay, it returns the first result of the query itself. I thought it would just give us the first result of the table. Okay, sorry, my bad. So it's going to return the first result of the query, so which would be what? Did this work? 200. Okay, I mean, it just gave me the let's ask, am I doing it correct now? Yeah, the query is now written correctly. Written CRUD first API will treat name and phone as query parameters, so you would like to call it as this. Now FastAPI. Okay, there isn't any user like that. What do you mean? Push Agra. where is the request? Push Agra, and this is the phone number. If I wasn't wrong, 522 541 42 522 541 4265. This should be correct, right? I might be fucking up there though. Maybe I don't need to write it like that. This, yes, it did. Thank God it did. First off, why can't I write it as the query? Alright, fuck off. Really? Okay, it now makes sense. Alright, thank goodness. Hmm. Where is the code again? Right, makes sense. Now, let me just go through. Mm, Chalo, let's just play. If q dot, can I just print uh, not even print, return q dot first apparent, maybe that would be a bad. Can I just print it? Maybe print print and return something else, return something else like this. Yeah, print. That should make sense. I'll send the request again. Okay, what will it print? Okay, it prints an object, but we don't know what an object. Okay, doesn't really give what's inside that object. So q dot first, when it has nothing matching, shows none. If shows none, if nothing is there, or will q dot first be equal Where was I? Okay, it is simply printing it. What the hell? Bro, what do I... should I first want you to return q dot first, return q dot first. If else something else happens, okay, that is the reason I had something like this here. If q dot first is none, q dot first is none, eh, I need you to print, just print, I don't want to raise any error, just print me something like what? Print me there doesn't match, if something else happens, else return fucking knew it. Something else happens, return what? Q dot first. Okay. Shagra nahi, Frank send, this gives me a null, failed, it doesn't match, got printed. That's it, that's all right. 200, okay, but what is wrong? I mean, why can't we just have a print statement other than, you know, raising errors, raising exceptions? Suppose your endpoint, what happens? Okay, server mein you can always have. So one of my basic questions was that why can't you just have it as a basic print statement, even though it's dumb. The thing was to, you know, identify the error. The problem is if you just have a print statement, only the server knows where the problem is, but we need to have a response of it, right? So you raise an exception. So you raise http exception, which you need to be, you know, yeah, which you need to be importing it from FastAPI. One of the most basic things that you need to be importing from FastAPI is this, you know, for raising exception. And status code is what? Another way, right? Okay, let me see my code. Status code is status dot need to import status from FastAPI. So status. Now I can simply do something like status dot http request में अभी देखो what is the best way to no it's not a 402 unauthorized नहीं है it's a bad request I guess 404 not found okay you don't have that guy here details there isn't the user there ain't a user so let's just hit the endpoint and see so I send it there ain't a user named Frank I mean with those corresponding you know name and contacts on my phone so let's just say whether if there is a guy named Arvind there isn't any thank god there isn't any so let me write it in my notes key to filter someone you need to do this alright and also if you need to do something these are just query objects right the first write the query now to execute we got two options it's either query dot all gives an object that gives an object that the query gives it just doesn't that the query gives how do I put this query matches gives an object that the query matches with several so even several rows if you have like 1000 rows that are matching with the given query that actually satisfy the given query it will return all of them query dot all but query dot first returns the returns the only row that matches alright and also I have this doubt of what type the object is first off this query dot first object does it belong to SQL ORM I guess hopefully it should belong to ORM let's see pushagra let's send it we have internal server error okay I don't know why that happened maximum recursion depth exceeded what does that mean bro okay I have touched something that I shouldn't have touched oh my god let me kill the terminal and I'll try to run it again CRUD first right if this is okay I was just trying to figure out the CRUD first ka type I don't think there's nothing wrong with that I have these I'll send a request happily and it still gave me that okay we got query prompts if I don't do this and take this out what will that be give me will it give me the answer don't think it does, bro. Cancel. If CRUD first is none, is there a problem in this? Let's see. That works, but you're querying the database twice. If CRUD first is none, I don't need to do this, by the way. So I was requested to, you know, associate CRUD first with an variable. Let's say it's an user. CRUD first user, return user. I forgot to ask the type of the user. What would that give me? Type of the user. It gave me an internal server error. Because why can't I ask the type of the user? Why is it throwing an error when I ask the type the error? Oh, sorry. Type of user object that I am returning. This is what I wanted to ask. FastAPI cannot serialize a Python type object into JSON. Okay. What this returns is a JSON. Alright. Type user might be. FastAPI tries to convert that into JSON and fails. Alright, I can't do that. Oh, first off, so I learned that, bro, there are so many things that we learn. I mean, you lose track of what you have learned. So one of the things that I've learned is also when you write two conditions in filter, you have to do it like q dot query dot first q dot query dot filter one two. Alright, that makes sense. Okay. So also let me make another called exceptions. We raise the basic. What did we raise? Raise HTTP exception. Status code is this, and you give a detail for this. So this sends the error message back to the front end. So that's what we always wanted. Key path operations also use long has it been? Stream settings, analytics. Let me see. It has been 1 hour 2 minutes. I'll take a few minutes of break.
Time to try the new sandwiches behind. Marcus rolls, please, chef. Again. Yo! Somebody come try this, cousin.
That was perfect.
There you go, chef. What's going on? What do you think?
It's redundant and white, just like you.
Heard. Tina, salt, heat, it's tender, it's nice. We happy? You happy? All right.
Yo, Sydney, try this business.
Oh, fuck.
Mm-hmm. You know that's fire.
Yeah, fucking fire.
Mm-hmm. So how you gonna pass the family test? Delicious or impressive?
Delicious is impressive.
Word. Oh, yeah.
Time to try the new sandwich.
House.
What are you doing here?
I'm here because
Nothing you can say is going to change anything.
I love this man. And I am not wasting another moment of my life.
Let me switch on light, bro. I can't see shit. Where was I? Let me bounce some music. Kind of bored, to be honest.